after Amal Rav Vigi'ah, a lot of toiling and hard work, we're all about to get to the night that we're all working for, to the Chag that we're all working for so hard, Chag Pessach. The first night of the Chag, and the second night in Chutz La'aretz also, is Leil Seder. There is an order. There is a special mitzvah that we have during this night, and it is called Sipur Yetziat Mitzraim. To say over the story of Yetziat Mitzraim. Hayav Adam lirot et atzmo ki'ilu hu yatza miMitzrayim. A person has to see himself as if he himself left Mitzrayim. A person has to feel as though he experienced all of that. One obvious way is, of course, you have to read about it. You have to know what it is. And you have to say the story over to yourself or to your child. The mitzvah is to say specifically to your child. If a person doesn't have children, you say it to himself or say it to a friend. To say over the Sipur of Yetziat Mitzrayim. As the Torah says, it says in Parashat Bo, ויאמר השם אל משה בוא אל פרעה כי אני הכבדתי את ליבו ואת לב עבדיו למען שהתיר אותותיי אלה בקרבו. Come to Paro because I strengthened his heart and the heart of his servants in order for me to put all these makot on them. ולמען תספר באוזני בנך ובן בנך את אשר התעללתי במצרים ואת אותותיי אשר שמתי בם וידעתם כי אני השם. It says, in order, the reason why I'm giving these makot is in order for you to say it be'ozne bincha, say it over into your child's ear. Speak to him. And tell your child, uben bincha, and your grandchildren also, it asher it'alalti b'mitzrayim. Rashi says, sihakti, that I played, I toyed with Mitzrayim. I was just playing with them, pushing them this way and then this way. Whatever I want, I did with Mitzrayim. Say that over. In order to strengthen emunah, belief in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, faith in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, emunah. We have to read about it, and we have to say over the Sipur of Yetziat Mitzrayim. The Sipur of Yetziat Mitzrayim, the story of Yetziat Mitzrayim, is so hashuv. In the Zohar Kadosh it says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gathers his entire pamalia, his entire crew, the Melachim, the Seraphim HaKedoshim, and all the Hayot HaKodesh, everybody, they're all, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gathers them up and gathers them and says, let's go and listen to how Peloni is saying over saying over the Sipur Yetziat Mitzrayim, how this fellow is saying the story over, and he's talking about my greatness. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu goes to listens to the Sipur of Yetziat Mitzrayim, to the story of leaving Mitzrayim. But it's not just a story. And it's not just to say over the story. The Torah says, Leman tesaper, you should say the story be'ozne bincha uven bincha, in their ear. Talk to them in the ear. What does that mean? It's nice to say a big derasha at the table, to clap on the table and say, everybody, you need to listen. But it's much more than that. That's a nice idea. But you also need to sit your child on your lap and speak to him and tell him in a soft voice, calmly, directly to him, in order to instill emunah into the next generation, in order to pass that emunah and also strengthen our own, because when we hear ourselves talking, it's mechazek ourselves, it gives us chizuk too, it gives us strength in emunah, in faith in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and you speak to your child and you tell it to him directly, and that way it'll feel real to him. It'll enter inside his bones, inside his heart, in order for him to believe in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But we need to know the story all the way from the beginning. Sipur Yetziat Mitzrayim is not only the exile, because that the children know. You just start, and that's it. Yalla, we went to Mitzrayim, and a few they got the makot, and Paro said no, and then the Paro in pajama, and that's it. And then he found Moshe, and the children threw him around, and that's it. And then the Bnei Israel left, and they ended up in Yam Suf, and the Egyptian came, and that was the end of that's the Yetziat Mitzrayim. The Sipur Yetziat Mitzrayim starts when Bnei Israel ended up going down to Mitzrayim. Why did they go down to Mitzrayim? It starts all the way by the Brit Ben HaMetarim, that they were promised, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Avraham Avinu, there's going to be exile. But why did they end up in Mitzrayim? Why specifically Mitzrayim? How did they end up there? There's a Gemara in Masechet Shabbat, Daf Yud Amud Bet. It says, V'amar Rava bar Mechasya, Amar Rav Hama, בר גוריה אמר רב, לעולם אל ישנה אדם בנו ben habanim. A person should never have anything different between his children. Everything should be equal between his children. Don't ever favor and give something extra to one child more than the other one. Why? שבשביל משקל שנס אלוהים מילת שנתן יעקב ליוסף, for the little bit that Yaakov Avinu gave Yosef more than the rest of his brothers, נתקנאו בו אחיו, his brothers got jealous, ונתגלגל הדבר, and then everything, the whole story happened, וירדו אבותינו למצרים, and because of that, the entire Klal Yisrael ended up in Mitzrayim. So the Rosh asks, well, you want to tell me that because of the Ketonet Pasim, the little bit of extra that Yaakov gave Yosef, that's the reason we ended up in Mitzrayim? It says in Berit Ben HaBetarim that Avraham Avinu was promised that his children are going to go to exile. Says the Rosh, it could have been exiled, bounced from country to country, from city to city. Who said they had to be in Mitzrayim? They ended up in Mitzrayim because of the story of Yosef. But why specifically Mitzrayim? That's also part of the story, to speak about the Ketonet Pasim, to speak about the whole story of the brothers going down and the famine and the whole thing that's part of Sipur Yetziat Mitzrayim. And the reason why we went out to Mitzrayim, there are many reasons, but a few of them, we'll speak about a few of them. A few reasons why we ended up in Mitzrayim is because HaKadosh Baruch Hu saw that if they're going to be in Canaan, in the city of Canaan, they were already comfortable. The Shevatim were getting comfortable. Their children were being comfortable. And they would have ended up assimilating between the Canaanim. They would have married into them, and they would have been gone. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent them to a place where they're going to be isolated. Put them in a place in Mitzrayim, they're isolated. When the Shevatim came and they ate with Yosef, it says that they ate on two separate tables. Why? Because they were not able to eat, the Mitzrayim were not able to eat with the Ivrim, with the Hebrews. They were not able to eat with them bread. Why not? They were disgusted by them. They didn't like the Hebrews, the Mitzrayim, which was amazing for us, amazing for the Jewish nation, because now they left them alone. When it comes to assimilating, to connect with them, they had no interest. It says that Bnei Israel, they didn't switch their clothing, they didn't switch their language, they didn't switch their food. And Mitzrayim had no interest in ever trying to get them to eat the same things, because they never connected with them. So for Bnei Israel, it was a place for them to be able to multiply and grow from within themselves, and not have to assimilate, and not have to lose anybody to the Goyim. They didn't have to lose anybody, so it was a way to protect. So that was one reason why we went out to Mitzrayim. Why specifically Mitzrayim? Another reason is because Mitzrayim had a bunch of wise people there. They were very, very smart. They were very, very powerful. They had a lot of the black magic, the kishuf. There were magicians there, and the idea is that the whole world was in awe of Mitzrayim. And if HaKadosh Baruch Hu was able to toy with Mitzrayim and to do all these makot in Mitzrayim, weren't able to retaliate, it was a way to publicize the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the entire world. Look, Mitzrayim can't handle HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so who can handle HaKadosh Baruch Hu? It was a way to publicize HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And another reason was because since they were so strong, they were so wealthy, they used to do a lot of averot. So because they did a lot of averot, so HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to punish them, and he knew that HaKadosh Baruch Hu knew that he's going to end up giving them a makot. So that's a way of punishing the Mitzrayim for all their sins. Another reason they say that because Avraham Avinu, he went down to Mitzrayim, and he went down to Mitzrayim, so his Maaseh Avot Siman Banim, he went down to Mitzrayim, so his children have to go down to Mitzrayim. And so which means when Avraham Avinu went down for the famine, all the way there already Sipur Yetziat Mitzrayim starts. Avraham Avinu went down to Mitzrayim. Therefore, his children went down to Mitzrayim. So the Sipur Yetziat Mitzrayim is so rich, and how we have to learn so much about it in order to be able to say it over to our children. And we know we can't touch on the entire 400 years, the entire 190 years, it's impossible. But parts of it, Ikari, things that will instill the emunah, to show the chain of events, is something that only HaKadosh Baruch Hu can plan such a thing out. It shows the emunah. Another way to show the emunah is through the makot. There is a way that HaKadosh Baruch Hu judges this world, and that is midah keneged midah. Same way a person judges somebody else, HaKadosh Baruch Hu judges him back. The same way a person acts, HaKadosh Baruch Hu acts back with him. And for that reason, that's the same way that HaKadosh Baruch Hu did all the makot, all the plagues. Midah keneged midah. In the same way the Mitzrayim, the Egyptians, treated Bnei Israel, that's how HaKadosh Baruch Hu treated them back. Now, why is that so good for emunah, for faith, or belief in HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Because it's impossible to be able to inflict pain, to be able to punish somebody in any way, shape, or form based on the way they acted, unless you are HaKadosh Baruch Hu, unless you have the means to do whatever you want. And only HaKadosh Baruch Hu has that. When you hear these, it strengthens the emunah. It makes you strong. It makes you believe. It makes you have a lot of faith in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So we're going to run through all the makot, Be'ezrat Hashem, and we're going to give a few examples of what's midah keneged midah, and why HaKadosh Baruch Hu decided to give that makah, that plague, on the Mitzrayim. Dam, blood. The whole Nile became blood. All the water became blood. For one of the reasons is because they threw Bnei Israel and they drowned them in the water, and it's like spilling blood. They killed them. So therefore the whole water became blood. And that's why did the fish die? Because the same way that the children of Israel died, the Bnei Israel, the babies died, so the fish also died inside the water. And another reason is because they used to murder Bnei Israel. They would just kill them for no reason. They would spill their blood like water. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu turned their water into blood. And another reason, because they used to have Bnei Israel draw water for them and carry their water, and they never paid them. So now, the famous story is, everybody knows this midrashim, that when the Egyptian wanted to drink water during the week of Makat Dam, he would have to purchase water from the Yehudi, from the Israeli, and then he would be able to drink water. So that was a way of repaying Bnei Israel for their labor. Tzfardea, let's move on to Tzfardea. Why Tzfardea? Why? Because Bnei Israel were sleeping, they would go to sleep, and there was no schedule for sleep. All of a sudden the Egyptian wanted the Jewish person to do something for him. Hello, wake up, yalla. I just fell asleep 20 minutes ago. No, yalla, we gotta go to work. So for that, HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent the Tzfardeim, the frogs, to make a lot of noise. And the Egyptians weren't able to sleep. Midah keneged midah. Paro said, who is Hashem that I should listen to him? Mi Hashem asher eshma bekolo. Who is Hashem that I have to listen to him? So HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent the Tzfardeim, the frogs, that listened to HaKadosh Baruch Hu wherever Hashem sent them. Hashem put them, even on Kiddush Hashem, they jumped into the hot ovens. Even an animal has certain instincts. They're not going to jump into a fire. And the frogs jumped into burning fires just because HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I want you to go everywhere. So the frogs went and said, you want to know who's Hashem? We'll show you who Hashem is. We're going to listen to Hashem, even though it's against our instincts. That was Tzfardea, Kinim, the lice, because they used to tell Bnei Israel to sweep. And when they would sweep the sand and the street and the dirt, the sand would rise and it will cause the Bnei Israel to have lice in their hair. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave back the Mitzrayim also with lice. Arov, the wild animals, because they treated Bnei Israel like the Egyptians acted like wild animals. They would burst into the Israelites' house, the Israelim's house, and they would grab their children, and there was just no rules with them. They acted like animals. HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought animals into their homes and ran into them without any rules. With sent animals, they used to tell Bnei Israel to just walk around a lion, just travel with a lion around. Now it's scary, it's frightening. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought lions, brought bears in order to frighten the Mitzrayim. Midah keneged midah. It's HaKadosh Baruch Hu. This shows emunah one by one. We're going through them fast, but if you pick on one of these things and just elaborate on it, in the Deve, when the animals died, they told Bnei Israel they should be shepherds in the mountains for their donkeys, for their horses, for their camels. They were shepherds. And those who said, you want shepherds? I'll be the shepherd. I say you should put them inside the house. Don't put them inside the house, they're going to die. Hashem repaid. They used to tell Bnei Israel to pull the plow on their own back. Or they used to tell them to give them rides like they were a horse or a donkey. And Bnei Israel had to replace the Egyptians' animals in order to do labor. That's how they worked them so hard in order to make sure that their animals should sit down calm. They shouldn't have to sweat, So HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, you gave your animals some time to rest on the cheshbon of Klal Yisrael, to punish the animals. The animals died. For that, the animals had to die. Shechin, the boils. They used to hit Bnei Israel so hard that Bnei Israel used to get boils from it. So they got boils. They used to tell Bnei Israel in the bathhouses, Bnei Israel weren't able to shower, but they used to have to heat up the water for them so that they should be able to shower. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave them boils, that the water and their skin was too sensitive to be able to touch water. They couldn't shower themselves. The barad, the hail, they used to throw stones on Bnei Israel. They used to punch them. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent stones from Shamayim on the Mitzrayim. Who could do such a thing if not for HaKadosh Baruch Hu emunah? If we say this story over to a child, he hears this. Even ourselves, when we hear this, it's going to instill emunah into our veins, put it inside us. B'ezrat Hashem, we should be able to be ma'aminim, amitiyim in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, have real faith in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Choshech, darkness. You know, when Bnei Israel, when the Goyim used to eat, they would have a Jewish guy there, Israel, and they'll tell him, okay, stand there still. They would put a candle on top of his head. Don't move. If you move, we're going to cut your head off. We need light. Standing there the entire meal, and they couldn't move still. With a candle on the head, HaKadosh Baruch Hu made darkness. Makat Bechorot. The firstborns, they all died. They used to threw the firstborns into they killed the firstborns. Pa'o shachted, did shechita. He cut and in order to bathe in the blood of the firstborns, and none of the Egyptians had any problem with it. So they all got punished in the firstborns. When the Bnei Israel did Korban Pessach, they did a tzali, they roasted the meat. The smell was all over Mitzrayim. Anybody who's hungry his stomach's gonna start to grumble. Ha ha! Meat. The Egyptians were starving. The animals were dead. The fish already died in the water, and the frogs were eating all the dead fish. The frogs left. The Arbe ate all their crops. Their barad broke all their trees. The hail broke all the trees. They had no food. They were starving. Because when they used to roast, when they used to feast, they used to have the Bnei Israel sit there and they would not be able to eat. They used to leave them hungry, drooling for some food. So now the smell of the Korban Pesach was a midah keneged midah. They drowned in Yam Suf because they drowned Bnei Israel inside the ocean, inside the river. HaKadosh Baruch Hu did everything midah keneged midah. And if we say this story over to our children, we say this over story, we say be'oznei bincha. That's the reason why HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave these makot, in order for us to say it over, to speak them all out, to be able to have our children love HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to have a connection between us and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We need to be able to feel it as if we ourselves are going out of Mitzrayim. And therefore, a person, כל המרבה לספר ביציאת מצרים, הרי זה משובח. B'ezrat Hashem, the Shana Abba, we should be able to already have the Korban Pesach, and we should be busy right now checking the mumim, and if there's no mumim in the animals, and we should be able to be sitting B'ezrat Hashem, בבניין בית המקדש, במהרה בימינו.